July 22, 1991, a handcuffed man bursts out into the Milwaukee streets, screaming for help. The police follow him back to apartment 213. And what they find inside will haunt the city forever. A human head stored neatly in the refrigerator, dozens of Polaroids of dismembered bodies, and the quiet, polite man who lived there simply looked at the officers and said, "I was saving it." This is the true story of the Milwaukee Monster, Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born on May 21, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. On the outside, he looked like any other American boy. Blonde hair, blue eyes, quiet smile. But even as a child, something was wrong. His parents fought constantly. His mother suffered from severe anxiety and depression. Young Jeffrey would collect roadkill, dissolve animal bones in acid, and keep the skulls as trophies. He told his father, "I just like the way they look." After the divorce, his father sent him to live with his grandmother, Catherine Dahmer, in West Allis. She was a quiet, religious woman who hoped to calm him down. But in her basement, the real horror would later begin. He held several jobs trying to appear normal. He worked as a phlebotomist at the Milwaukee Blood Plasma Center. Later, he got a night shift at the Ambrosia Chocolate Factory, mixing vats of chocolate from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Co-workers said he was quiet, polite, always on time. No one suspected what he was doing when the shift ended. June 18, 1978. Jeffrey had just graduated high school. His parents had finally divorced. He was completely alone in the family house. That night, he picked up a hitchhiker named Stephen Hicks, an 18-year-old who looked just like him. They drank beer, listened to music. Everything seemed normal. But when Stephen tried to leave, Dahmer snapped.
I was 18 years old, driving home. I saw this hitchhiker about a mile from my house. Thought to myself, should I stop and pick him up or should I just keep on going? I wish I just kept on going, but I didn't.
He struck him on the head with a dumbbell, then strangled him. In a panic, he dismembered the body in the bathtub, buried the pieces in the woods behind the house, and kept the skull for months. Later in interviews, Dahmer said, "I felt complete. I didn't want him to leave me. I wanted him to stay with me forever. That feeling, that terrible need for control, would never leave him." For the next 9 years, the monster stayed quiet, but it was growing stronger.
I had no control as a child or young adult, and that got mixed in with my sexuality, and I ended up doing what I did was my way of feeling in complete control.
1987. The floodgates finally opened. Dahmer started going to gay bars, luring young men back with promises of money, alcohol, or photos. Once inside, he drugged them with sleeping pills or laced drinks. The ritual was always the same. He wanted total control. He wanted them to stay with him forever. So he would strangle them while they were unconscious. Then, the darkest part began he performed necrophilia on the bodies. He photographed every step of the dismemberment. He kept skulls, bones, and body parts in his refrigerator and freezer. He even ate parts of some victims because he believed it would make them part of him. Some victims he tried to turn into zombies. He drilled holes into their skulls while they were still alive and injected boiling water or acid, hoping they would become obedient, brain-damaged companions who could never leave him. Key victims and how he felt. Stephen Tuomi, 1997, killed in a hotel room. Dahmer woke up next to the body and couldn't remember the murder. He said he felt relief at first, then panic, then the same emptiness that always returned. James Doxtator and Richard Guerrero, 1988, killed in his grandmother's basement. He kept their bodies there for days, having sex with the corpses. His grandmother later complained about the terrible smell coming from the basement. Anthony Sears, 1989. The last victim killed at grandmother's house. Dahmer kept his skull and boiled the flesh off it. He later told police, "I felt powerful, like I finally owned them completely." Between 1987 and 1991, he repeated this ritual on 12 more young men in his Oxford Apartments unit. Most were Black or Asian, poor, and often from troubled backgrounds. He chose them because he knew they might not be missed quickly. After every kill, Dahmer said he felt a brief moment of calm, like the loneliness was gone. But within days, the compulsion came back stronger. He described it as an addiction he could not stop. July 22, 1991. Tracy Edwards, a 32-year-old man, accepted Dahmer's invitation. Inside apartment 213, the smell was unbearable. Dahmer tried to handcuff him. Tracy fought back, ran into the street, and flagged down 2 police officers. The officers entered the apartment, opened the refrigerator, and froze, a human head staring back at them. Another head in the freezer. A kettle full of hands and male genitalia. Polaroid pictures everywhere, documenting the horror in horrifying detail. Dahmer simply stood there, calm, and said, "I must have been crazy." In court, Dahmer showed almost zero emotion. He was charged with 15 counts of murder in Wisconsin. He pleaded guilty but insane. The jury rejected the insanity plea. On February 17, 1992, he was sentenced to 15 consecutive life sentences, 957 years in prison. Behind bars, he confessed everything. How he ate parts of victims, how he tried to keep their skeletons as companions, how the loneliness and need for control never left him.
I started saving the skeletons and preserving other parts.
On November 28, 1994, another inmate beat Jeffrey Dahmer to death with a metal bar. He was 34 years old. 17 young men, sons, brothers, friends, had their lives stolen in the most terrifying ways imaginable.
I hope you can deal with what you've done. I'm trying hard to. You almost destroyed me. But I refuse to let you destroy me. I will carry on.
This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, based entirely on public records, court documents, police reports, and Dahmer's own confessions.
This was a case to tell the world that I did what I did not for reasons of hate. I hated no one. I knew I was sick or evil or both. Now I believe I was sick.
We remember the victims, not just the monster. If you want more chilling true crime stories, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Which killer should I cover next? Comment below. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the most dangerous monsters hide in plain sight. Midnight Case Files signing off. See you in the shadows.